I have a marketing company called TNW Marketing. We generate over 100K per month pounds. And I also have a solar company called Gecko Energy, and we generate over £500,000 per month. That is solar installations. So this video is specifically going to be going over the pitfalls that we had actually building up our marketing company and what I could have done to basically speed up that growth massively. Now, when we first started building our business, we basically were selling social media, and it wasn't very effective at all. It's mostly just laborious tasks. We didn't really have much skill at all, and we would just basically reach out to people we knew, like via text and stuff like that, and try to sell them stuff. Now, obviously, we had a few people come on board. We had a brewery, we had a recruitment company come on board who needed like more candidates, and all sorts of different types of niches, but we never really had any consistency, yeah? And that takes me to lesson number one. Lesson number one is lead gen. You need to have a consistent lead generation source. You need to be cold calling, cold emailing, DMs. You need to make sure that with the DMs, they're on platforms that you are on. That the customer is on. Such as if you're doing B2B, then LinkedIn. So you need to be doing lead gen, yeah? And you need to be doing outbound lead generation. So like I said before, cold calling, cold emails, DMs on LinkedIn if you're doing B2B. Lead generation is so important. You need to have accountability around your lead generation. With us, if we just generated lots of leads to start off with and continuously kept accountable to like how many calls we made, we didn't even make calls. Not to start off with, but eventually we did. And obviously we have a cold calling team now, and that's our best lead source, best revenue generation source. So if I could go back then, I would have got started on generating outbound leads as soon as possible. The next one is structuring deals and sales process. Now, what do I mean by sales process and structuring deals? I'll tell you a little story. So we basically had a model where we were working with commercial solar installers, and we were only taking a percentage on the back end, right? Because that's the way that the installers wanted to work with us, or that's the way that they were pushing us down, and we found it exciting. Big 100K deals, 200K deals, 300K deals. And we basically ended up in a situation where we were chasing up this customer for 8 months, 10 months, yeah? And they eventually closed for 400 grand, yeah? 10 months we were following up with this customer to close them for our client. And we were supposed to get 10% of the profit. Yeah, that's quite low as well in terms of us closing the deal and everything like that. We get 10% profit. And he never even paid us on it. Like literally just didn't pay us on it at all. And that just basically showed me you can't rely on someone else to dictate how much revenue you have, especially if you're a lead generation partner and you're relying on someone to close the deals for you. You cannot rely on them to close the deals for you. You need to secure your own revenue, right? So what does that mean? That means you need to build a sales process which basically guarantees you money, ideally upfront, yeah? Or some upfront, maybe some on some sort of performance basis. Ideally, if you're selling appointments, if you're building websites, then on the website build, when the website build is complete, etc. It needs to be, I do believe in performance-based offers, but I think that you need to create something that's going to guarantee you money in your pocket ASAP. And yeah, you just need to make sure that you're going to get money quickly and waiting too long for it, because look, you're running an agency, right? You're trying to get your business off of the ground. You need to make money. You need to guarantee yourself money early doors, yeah? Number 3 is that money is negligible. What do I mean by that? I mean that back in the day, I had such a big emphasis on the money that I had. And look, fair enough, I didn't have much at all, and I was very protective over it. However, now I look back on it now, the money that I was getting then is completely negligible to like where we're at now and the numbers that we're doing now. So when you actually put it into perspective, if you had that perspective when you were back earlier on, then you might have made progress faster because you were willing to take more risk on the money that you did have. Obviously, don't gamble at all, don't put everything on red or green, but have it in a sense where taking more risk because you know that the payoff that you're going to have is going to be way, way bigger than like where you're at right now. The money that you have in the bank right now is negligible. You should be reinvesting everything you have in getting to that next stage quicker, because you're going to be wishing that you did it in the future, right? Right now, I look back and I'm like, okay, yeah, fuck that guy back there. Invest more money, take more risk, and you'd be in a better position right now. So what have we covered so far? Lead gen, right? Having consistent leads, making phone calls, getting on sales calls, sales process, right? Building out an offer where you can guarantee yourself money up front, or very early on in the process, you can continuously make money on the front end. You're structuring a deal well. That obviously comes with a bit of experience, but I'm trying to give this information to you now so that you don't make the same mistakes as we did, and you can obviously speed up your growth. Now, number 3 is obviously money is negligible, right? Once I start to make money, because I actually put a lead generation system in place and also built out a sales process, I started to make money, but the money that I was getting in is negligible, right? And I was scared to replace myself. And this goes on to point number 4. Point number 4 is to replace yourself. So I was scared to replace myself early on because I wanted to keep hold of the process and make money. And look, we were making good money, good profit for our age, and it's, I want to hold on to it. But it gets to a point, and this happened after maybe 4 or 5 months, that I was like, what do I do from here? Am I just going to be a closer for the rest of my life, sit in all of my sales calls? No, I don't want to do that. 50 grand a month is good. But if I take myself out of the sales process, and this is advice to you who is doing the founder-led sales right now, if you take yourself out of the sales, once you've built a systemized sales process and lead generation process, take yourselves out of the sales, put someone in place, and then they can obviously run up the sales for you. And the system will be working absolutely fine, right? You might take a dip in revenue initially, but it allows you to take a step back, improve the process overall, improve the lead quality overall, and even if they're performing at 80% of what you can do, just get 2 of them, right? Just get 2 of them, and then you're going to be doing 160% of what you could normally do, yeah? With the increased leads and all that sort of stuff. So replacing yourself, especially in founder-led sales, is really important. You want to do it quick. However, you don't want to do it with someone who's going to make you lose money. So you want to still continuously keep the revenue going until they're surpassing you, or you maybe get 2 closers in who you're managing while you're closing deals yourself. Once they start surpassing you in revenue, then you take a step back and start bringing them up. And the next step from there, really, and this is starting to get a little bit more advanced as well, is replace yourself as the manager. So replace yourself as the manager as the next stage from there, which I had to learn. And what does that basically mean? That means that I was running my sales team, right? I was running my sales team, and they were doing that, and they were scaling it up, and it was good, right? We were making decent money, but it comes to a point again where it's, okay, are you full-time sales manager, doing one-to-ones with all the setters, doing one-to-ones with all of the closers? Obviously, you can get a team lead in for the setters. Do you want to do all of those one-to-ones, or do you want to get someone else in who can support the revenue, and you can take a step back and then focus even more on marketing or whatever else is a higher level than that? That's the next stage from there, replacing yourself as a manager. Once you've replaced yourself out of sales, you want to replace yourself as the manager. And how do you actually replace yourself as the manager? You want to set and hold KPIs. What does that mean? That means that you need to have specific key performance indicators that you know is keeping the business afloat or keeping a certain part of the business afloat. And once you have those key performance indicators and where they should be for each rep, for the whole team in general, then you hold them there, right? You keep them accountable to those key performance indicators. And as long as you are hitting those key performance indicators, then typically the business is doing okay, right? And you're going to add more and more key performance indicators to that overall bucket that you're monitoring. But over time, you'll understand which ones are important, which ones aren't important, and you can monitor it from a high level perspective and make sure everything's okay. How do you think that the top CEOs and stuff like that in loads of different businesses, like Tony Robbins, for example, he has like hundreds and hundreds of businesses. What's he doing? He's going into the business and looking at the specific KPIs that he finds important, and he'll know exactly what's going on within the business, where the business is headed, etc. From like financial forecasting down to their current P&L, their bottom line, their top line, etc. And they'll know exactly where that business is at, where it's heading, and they won't need to worry, right? Because they know what the numbers are and they have those numbers set, and they know that people are holding each other accountable to those numbers. So that is really key. Once you replace yourself as the manager, you need to get those KPIs in place and make sure that they are being held accountable to them. And now, one of the final points that I'm going to touch on in this video is don't kill what works, right? And this is a core part of my journey, which I regret massively. And we basically got to a point where we were sort of bottlenecked, right? And I'm at that stage again now, but I'm handling things differently. We were sort of bottlenecked, and we were hitting as many people as we could in the market. We worked with a lot of people, and we couldn't really get that but higher. And what we decided to do was like shut everything down. We shut that whole side of the business down, and we started focusing on something completely different that we hadn't even tested, didn't even know if it works or not, stuff like that. And it was an absolute disaster. We literally killed what we worked for the past like 2.5, 3 years. And we went after something completely new, right? Because we thought that's gonna get us to the next level. And it didn't work out, it worked out horribly, put us in a really bad situation. We're still recovering from that situation 12 months down the line. And now we're back, and then we went back to doing what worked and then scaling that up. And then once that system's in place, removing yourself from that system so you get managers in place, and then you can build other systems once that's working, right? But first of all, make sure that's working and keep that precious business model that you finally managed to make work after years and years. Keep that how it is. Keep making money from it, bro. Don't kill what gave you your foot into entrepreneurialism. It's the biggest mistake you can do. And so many people do it. So many people kill what works and try something completely new. Don't do that. Keep it running, put things in place so that it can run without you, and then test other things with some of the profit. But obviously keep that main thing, keep that money coming in, keep that drip coming in. That's so important. That would have saved me a year and fucking 2-3 years of my life in terms of stress. Not even joking. But yeah, if you like this video, make sure that you subscribe. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers. So make sure you subscribe. Check me out on IG as well, _RomanLove. It's gonna be in the description below. Also, leave a comment, ask any questions, talk to me about your business, ask me anything that you might be struggling with. I can make a video on that. But yeah, I'll speak to you soon. Cheers.